Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work on GUI events. So I have this problem with a calculator application. Let me bring that up. That it's nice that you can click on these buttons and everything, but it would be cool if you could also type 1, 2, 3, right? But it doesn't react. And it's not straightforward how to do this because what I would like to do is I would like to put a key down handler on the whole widget here, like the whole Windows main widget, and then it would receive all the different key presses. But the issue is that if one of these is focused, because I've clicked on it, then it will receive the events and they will never go to the widget here. So in order to solve this, we have to make it so that events, they don't only go to the currently focused widget, but if the currently focused widget doesn't do anything with the event, it can continue up to the parent of that widget and to the parent and all the way up through the ancestors. Sort of like how it works in HTML. So in order to do that, we're going to have to do some pretty big changes to the GUI event system, or even actually to the libcore event system. So if we look at cEvent.h, because events actually are one layer below the GUI, so it's all in libcore, which is the event loop and the event loop library, basically. And when we deliver an event, what we do is we call, let's see, cObject. The event loop will call cObject event, this function right here. It gets called with the event, and then that's it. But I'm thinking that we should make it so that if you, we put a flag on the event that says if it's been handled or accepted, is a term I like for this. Same as cute. So, and if an event has been accepted, then it won't bubble up to the parent. But if it's not accepted or ignored, then we will keep handing that event to parents along the ancestor chain until somebody either somebody accepts the event or we run out of ancestors. So let's try to do that. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to add a flag to cEvent. Call it accepted. And I guess we'll start out in accepted state, I think. And then we'll have the default behavior will be that the event will just go to the first widget, but then we'll see how we work this out. But let's see. Accepted. And then we'll have a void accept. That sets it to true. And then we can also have a void ignore. That sets it to false. Okay. And then what we would do is, let's try this out with the calculator. So in the calculator, we have the calculator widget. So let's just add a Keydown event handler. And we'll just put that here. Okay. And we'll say if event, oh, how are we going to do this? Key. Let's just do it this way, just to start. And what happens when we actually click on these? Add button, digit, keypad type digit, and then update display. I think we can do that. Okay, so keep keypad type digit, update display. Okay. And in this case, we will accept the event and return. Otherwise, we will ignore the event. I think this makes sense. And because we ignore it here, then it will go to our parent. Okay, and then we had those buttons in the calculator that are going to be focused. So let's see. I guess we can hook the Keydown event here. So we'll say should we do it in the abstract button? Maybe we should do it in the abstract button. Keydown. Yeah, there's already a Keydown event. Okay, so let's not do that in the G button. Okay, but in the abstract button. The G abstract button is the base class of checkboxes, radio buttons, and regular push buttons. So he has a Keydown event where we react to the enter key. So you can press enter to activate any type of button, basically. So in this case, we'll say event accept. Otherwise, we'll say, oh, I guess actually what we could do is we could do in G widget, this is where we'll do the ignore. So then if an event gets, so you have to remember separately, right, that there's the widget parent chain, which is like widgets within widgets. We're going to send the event up to through the parent chain, but we're also looking at parent classes. So within a class, you might have inherited from some other class, like you're probably inheriting from GWidget at least, or you might inherit from GAbstractButton, which inherits from GWidget, and so on. And now it becomes important to call your base class if you want to ignore an event, because maybe your base class wants to do something with it. So I think this is what we'll do. We'll ignore it at this level, because after, actually here we'll accept the event in this case. And then otherwise we'll ignore it, because if this is like tab, you press tab to switch between different subwidgets, that's still fine, but if you are not pressing tab, you're pressing anything else, we'll ignore, because there's no default behavior when you press a key. Right, okay. So where did I type that out? Oh yeah, here. So I don't actually need that here, but instead I need to call the base class, which is GWidget, right? And then we're going to need to get a lot better about calling base class. It's almost like, I wish we could maybe come up with a way to enforce this. Or maybe we could get Clang Tidy or someone to do it, to tell us about this. I don't know. It would be good to have a way to force you to do this, or like put some comment that it's not needed. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Okay. So ignore the event here. Okay. Now, we're still not caring about this, so we have to go and care about it. So let's look at where we actually call the event. So this is the event loop. When we pump the event loop, then oopsie, we get the queued events that we currently have, and then we iterate over them. And then if we don't have a receiver, then we do this, blah, blah, blah. If it's a deferred invocation, we do this. Otherwise, this is the vast majority of events end up here. And then we just call event on the object. So this is virtual, right? I'm thinking what we need to do here instead is this called in more places? Maybe we should have some kind of a helper function for this. So maybe like dispatch event. Maybe this can be a free function or a receiver. Dispatch event, and then C object. Dispatch event. Okay, I'm not really sure how this is going to work, but we'll figure it out. So, so we have to start by calling event once at least. So because it might start it in accepted state, but we still have to send him to at least one event handler. So we'll do this is a bit silly. That's like the name of the function is event, and we have an event. We could just call it E actually. It's not the end of the world. And then we'll do why not accepted. Let's see, target is this. Auto is fine here. Okay, so target is target parent. Okay, I feel like that makes sense. Then let's look at other invocations of event. So here is fine. Now what's going on here? This is a bit suspicious. GWindow event. So an event arrives in the window. And then what we do is we figure out, if it's a mouse event, then we figure out which widget are you hitting. And then we call event on that widget. So here we're going to have to do dispatch event instead. And same thing here. And here. And what's this? This is for painting. I guess maybe we'll just do dispatch event for all of these. And this is in the Windows server. Do we need to care about this? I don't know. This feels kind of like very hackish what's going on here anyway. But push this to dispatch event. Dispatch event. Let's see how this works out. I'm actually quite happy to get started on this because it's something I've known about for a long time and I've just been postponing it. There are a number of things like that in Serenity that I've known about for a long time, and I always think like, I'll work on it later. It's good to be tackling one of those things. I should get better about writing these things down too as bugs, because there's no bug for this. But I try to be good about bugs, you know, like I write down bugs as I think of them, often, but not always. And I got a lot of bugs from other people, which is just amazing. Like even if nothing else came of putting this online other than the bug reports I've been getting, I would still be very happy with putting it online, because getting random bug reports that actually refer to like real issues, that's really awesome. So let's see if we can get this thing to work. 1, 2, 3, tap here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's pretty good. And I typed some other keys and then we fell apart. Okay. See object dispatch event, window event. Well, that's not looking good. So what the hell ends up happening? We get a Keydown event here, and if it's one of these, then we accept it. Otherwise, we give it the G widget, right? And then what? Then we ignore it. Then what? Oh, wait, hold on. Then I guess it ends up in GWindow, because GWindow is the parent C object of the main widget. So if no widget accepts the event, then it travels up to GWindow, but GWindow is where we gave it to the widget in the first place. So let's see. Maybe we should have a limit. When you call dispatch event, you could say like, if it gets back to me, then stop there. So, well, let's see where we call dispatch event. So we would say like this, right? And then we'll teach dispatch event to only traverse ancestors until it reaches this point, and stop there. Because we don't want the event, you know? We can't do anything meaningful with it, so that's why we gave it to the widget. So let's see, object. And we'll say stay within. Yeah. Okay. And then in dispatch event, this feels extremely WebKit-y for some reason. This stay within concept. Okay, and then if while let's see, while target is not stay within, and while target and target not stay within, and accept. Yeah. So we need that null check here too, because otherwise we would otherwise it wouldn't end so well if we were not accepted even though we ran out of ancestors. Wow, this is such a pleasantly simple event dispatch function compared to some event dispatch functions I've seen in the past. Of course, this is this kind of thing that tends to grow more complex over time, so I guess I should just enjoy this moment while it is still simple. But I think that this is a pretty decent model for event handling. So basically, this change will mean that the main widget of any window is going to be able to capture most like stray events or whatever you want to call them, like unaccepted events, which is really nice. But you won't be able to capture everything, because if any one of the widgets who have a chance to accept the event, if any of them do, then it doesn't end up at the main widget. So, but that makes sense, because if somebody accepted the event, then they're saying like, this was meant for me. You don't need to worry about it. Yeah, I'm just saying it out loud too, so I can feel that it makes sense. Okay, so let's try this. Oh, these Serenity accessibility keys, I'm not sure about them. Someone added them a long time ago and then disappeared, and I'm not sure anyone ever uses them, and I don't use them. They just get in the way, but I've left them alone until now. We'll see. So 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, nothing happens. It's very good. And these work. And type here, nothing double happens. This behavior is a little strange, but oh wait, hold on. Oh, I can actually type those. I guess I'm not supposed to type into this thing in the first place. But that's cool. Okay, so let's see if we can do a little bit more with the calculator widget. What did we have? The different buttons. What do these do? Begin operation. Okay, I'm not really sure how to structure this right now, so I'm just going to be lazy and do a quick one just to test this out. But this should definitely not be structured in this way. Like all of this, we should figure out a way to share the code. Like maybe we could find the buttons and just simulate a click on them instead. So calculator, what was it? Operation add. Okay. Turn event accept. Shit, I don't think I was fast enough there. So we do 1 plus 1 is 2. That's pretty cool. 1 plus 3 is 4. It works. That is rad. Where's the equals? Finish. Yeah, right. Okay, so this has to be structured a bit differently, and I'm not gonna work on that right now, but we are giving ourselves the capability to do this. So let's look at some of these changes. Actually, we had some stuff in the Windows server. So let's look at our dispatch event invocations. Because the stay within argument, we should probably be passing that here as well. Is this the other? Yeah. So should we call it stay within? I guess we should. Or stop at. Stop at, that's pretty good too. Stay within is better, I think. The part that I don't like is that you could pass something to stay within that's not a parent of this object, but we could have an assertion here, stay within, or stay within is this, or stay within is ancestor of this. And then let's see, if other is this, return false, because that's not okay. And then ancestor is ancestor parent. Okay. And then we'll look at these again. Parent. So this one is like weird, right? We're calling parent dispatch event. This will happen anyway now. So it's a bit weird that we would do this. If a window doesn't have a client, that means that it's a Windows Server internal window. So it's like a menu, basically. I wonder if this means that internal Windows in the Windows Server will get the events twice. Let's see who makes these. Make WS window. So menu would make a window like this. Set himself as the parent. And when we get an event in the window, we would pass that event to the parent. But I think we can just do event.ignore here. Return, and we'll go to the parent. I think. So this Let's try that. Then what was the other dispatch event? Window manager, active window. And windows are not children of the window manager. So I think it's okay. They are children of the client connection. Make WS window. They are made here in the client connection, and they become children of this, so they're children of the client connection. So here we don't have to worry about this. Okay, let's just try that these work. No, they don't. We're not getting these events at all. Okay. Why is that? WS window. Event ignore. Parent. Ignoring event in WS window. Should enter parent instead. Okay, and then it should be in WS menu. Event. Okay. We're ignoring them, but they don't go to WS menu. I wonder why that is. Dispatch event. Let's see. Well, target. Dispatching on target. We'll just see what this looks like. Oh shit, I forgot to increment I. Wait, that didn't look like it was, oh shit, I'm in the wrong directory. Click core, and we gotta clean the Windows server. Okay. Bless you, Zcash, for making this fast to recompile. Okay, so we click up here, and it's 1 in all these cases. It's kind of interesting. Why is it not ignoring event in WS window? But wait, hold on. Aha! We're not in dispatch event. We're doing manual window.event invocations here, so we gotta do this instead. Okay. Do we have any more of these? Oh, right here. Child dot event. What is this? Handle paint event. Well, paint events normally stay accepted, but I guess we'll just we'll still stay within this. Does that make sense? Yeah. We don't want the paint event to come up to us when we're painting children. I need to do a full rebuild. Okay, this is a little messy because of all of the manual event invocations. That should be dispatch event. But I think that we're having a sensible design. I think. Okay, now these are ending up here. That's good. And let's try calc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Tab. I don't know, can we focus something uninteresting? Oh, this tab index, tab order is so random. Should do... I don't know what to do about that. I should do something about that. It's interesting that we can see all the events here. Cool. But yeah, this is totally working. Okay. Dispatch on. Get rid of that. Okay, so say libcore and let's do Windows Server at the same time and libGUI at the same time. Okay, let's do a patch review. So, C events now in libcore have an accepted flag, which starts out true, which means that by default events will stop at the first handler. It's only if you actually ignore an event that it will bubble up to parent objects. Okay. So when we pump the event loop, instead of calling event, we now call dispatch event. That's good. Then we added this is ancestor of function just so that I can have an assertion here, so that when you call dispatch event with an object to stay within, then we assert that we're trying to stay within one of our ancestors. If stay within is non-null, that is. But it's also permissible to say stay within this, right? And then we would break here. Okay, so when we dispatch event, then we first dispatch on the target, which is this, and then we go to the target parent as long as there are parents and as long as the event is not accepted yet. Cool. Okay, and then in the abstract button, we accept events that we press the return button, a return key, then we just accept it. And actually, we shouldn't go to Keydown event. That's a bit weird. Wait, what ends up happening there? Doesn't that mean that if I focus because we should return here. So that should mean that if I focus one of these and then try to type, then why does this work? Event.accept, it's accepted, so it shouldn't propagate. But I ignore it, so it propagates. Oh, right, but it, return. Return shouldn't propagate. Oh, yeah, right. So I'm missing a return there, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Okay, there we go. Oops. Right, so that's good. And then in GWidget, when we dispatch paint events to children, then we now call dispatch event instead of just event. Cool. And then in GWidget Keydown event, unless we are cycling through widgets to focus, we'll ignore the event, which means that it will bubble up to ancestors. Cool. There are probably more events that we should allow to bubble up to ancestors, but I'm going to have to think about which those should be, but probably like mouse events and stuff. Like if I click on something and that widget doesn't care, then we should tell the parent widget, I think. But let's stick with what we're doing here. So here we're just changing event to dispatch event. Blah, blah, blah. Dispatch event. And then this one we should get rid of. Okay, and I can also ignore that one. Okay. So basically here is when we get in the Windows server, when we get an event in a window that has no client, which means that it's a window that's not associated with any specific client program. So it's an internal window owned by the Windows server. So it might be like the Alt or the super tab window switcher, or it might be a menu or the menu bar. And in those cases, we need to. Previously, we did this propagation manually. Basically, what we're now doing automatically if you just ignore the event. Okay. So actually, let's make sure that we add that. Okay. Make sure it looks nice and tidy. Okay, and then we're just using dispatch event in the Windows server as well instead of event. So I think that we're good there. Say libcore plus libgui plus Windows server. Make events bubble up through ancestors. See events dispatch. Events no longer stop at the target object, but will propagate up the ancestor chain, as long as the event is accepted, term is false. To clear the accepted flag, call the event ignore. Most events start out in the accepted state. So if you want them, you should say propagate. Let's use the same terminology everywhere. Bubble up is false. To set calls event accept. Something to bubble up. We have to. Initially, we I only implemented properly for Keydown event for Keydown events. They will. I mean, I haven't even done it for all situations for button Keydown events. Events ignored at the ignored by GAbstract button, and then unless they are the return key, cause a simulated click. Or actually, no, this is not how it works. GWidget dispatch also, how did we do it? GWidget keydown will ignore, right? Now using this mechanism, we now ignore non-tabbing keydown events in GWidget, causing them to prop bubble up through the widget's ancestors. Okay, that's pretty cool. I want to fit one of those in. Yeah, that's nice. So I think I'm actually going to stop here instead of trying to write a bunch of application code with this, because I'm a little bit short on time and I kind of accomplished what I wanted to do. I mean, and then it can take some time to do the calculator stuff properly, but I don't really have all that much time for that right now. So you can just look at this. Yeah, it still looks very good. I think that's really neat. So I think I'm going to end the video here. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out while I improve event dispatch in Serenity. I hope you saw something interesting, and I will see you next time. Bye.